So who was here yesterday? All of you were pretty much here yesterday, right? So the information you picked up yesterday, was it helpful? Like the stuff from myself and from Sage and King, who actually had the chance to experiment with it yesterday after we went out? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the cool thing about what you're going to learn today is that not only is it going to complement what you're already doing, but little by little you're going to be surprised because you'll catch yourself doing it without even noticing it. And you'll start enjoying the results that come from what you're going to be learning today. Maybe not right away, but you will. So what I'm going to talk about today is something that I've noticed a lot of guys in this industry have a hard time with, is sex and the sexual part of game. So who's ever had this situation where you're with a girl, you bring her back to your place, or you're in this moment where you're like, should I kiss her? Just that moment where something sexual is supposed to happen, and for some reason, you don't know why, things just didn't work out. Who's been in that circumstance? And like, you know it, like you look at her and you could tell she wants it, right? But for some reason she's like, no, I can't. Who's seen that? Okay. So big reason, there's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes in a woman's mind that we have no idea about until today. You're going to find out a lot of things that's going on in your mind, in her mind, and things that how you can set up your interactions or complement your interactions with things that will make it so that the next time you meet a girl and you take her back to your place, it naturally falls that you're going to both have sex. Just naturally. So from my experience, I don't like to use the term batting average, but I guess in my experience, I bring 10 girls back, 9 of them I close. And it happens, and when you know, the cool thing is that when you know you can do it, you get more confident, and the more confident you get, the smoother you can make it for her and for yourself. So let's get started. So first, there are 3 aspects of this. There's the mental aspect, the verbal aspect, bless you, and the physical aspect. So we're going to start with the mental aspect. And by that, I mean frames, certain frames. So we're going to talk about us first. So I'll just the game that Red Bull Q has invented for his Awaken the Man Within seminar, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to point at some of you, and I want you to finish my sentence. So if I say vision, sex is?
Tons of fun.
Okay, sex is?
Excellent.
Sex is?
What I want.
Sex is?
Intimate.
Sex is?
Wonderful.
Sex is?
Sometimes a challenge.
Alright. Seeing a woman naked and being inside her is?
Funny.
Is?
Awesome.
Okay. Brandon?
The best.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing you gotta understand is your own framework about sex. So I'll tell a little bit about me. In this case, and maybe some of you can relate to this kind of story, right? What brought me into this thing. My parents were very conservative. I remember I was 13 years old. I was with 2 friends that were girls, that happened to be girls, and we were in the same house with my parents and her parents, all in the same house. We were talking in the living room. I fell asleep in the same sofa as them. I woke up to my father grabbing me by the hair and throwing me into my room. And my father is very Anglo-Saxon, calm guy. So for me, that shocked me. And that put certain frames about talking to girls and about sex that weren't very helpful in my upbringing. I was basically shamed. Sex for me associated with shame. Can anyone relate to that? Like, a part of us, we can hide it, but when we think of sex, we think of shame. Who has a little bit of that? You can raise your hand a little bit. I have it sometimes. A really good book, I won't go too much into that, but a really good book to help with that is Without Embarrassment by Mike Polinsky. Because for you to be able to make sure the woman feels comfortable and enjoying having sex with you, she needs to know, and you need to know, that sex completely is something that you can do and enjoy. And with peace of mind, especially. So Without Embarrassment, Mike Polinsky, really good book. So I recommend that. So I know we all have our frames, our sexual frames. 3 essential ones that I would, in my opinion, are sex is fun, sex is natural. And sex is intense. It's one of those few experiences that we as human beings can enjoy with ourselves or with someone else that just brings out so much pleasure. Just one of those things, in a healthy way. So whatever frames you have about sex, I won't go into that aspect, but I just want to address it. And as long as you have those three core frames, as you talk about sex, as you talk to women, it'll be very helpful because she can catch on it. You know, everything is context. This is the context part. Because as you're talking to women, these frames will come out when you're talking to her. So making sure that you're okay with sex. So those are frames for you, but frames for her. What are frames? When I say frames, I mean they're belief constructs, ways that we see the world, that, you know, certain things we believe. If, for example, someone says sex is fun, then for them, their mind, they'll think about sex, they'll see fun. Right? If I think sex is shameful, then no matter what, even if a woman throws herself at me, I'm going to think shame. Right? So there are certain frames that you can put on yourself and that you can actually influence women with. The technique is called force framing, which I'm going to show a little bit about.